get much help from mid in terms of priority.
All right, Lo.
And honestly, not bot either.
Game one. Who wins, and what is the final
This is
series score?
Such a hard call to make. Can I watch a bit? Because
No,
they've got Pretender
I
and
need
Jimmy.
I need you to answer it now.
They've got Pretender playing AD. Okay. Okay, let me see. Let me see the runes. Get some more info. Lethality Varus. Yeah, I gotta go with Frank.
All right. Fraudulent. CFO will be taking it. 2-0. No, I'm not even sure. I think a lot of it depends around this top lane.
Yeah, and how do they look as a team with both their mid laners playing?
True.
That's got to be a completely different dynamic. The rest of the players are probably used to either mid, but, I mean, the mids are, probably not used to playing together.
Oh, by the way, we didn't see Smolder in draft, which kind of surprises me.
Yeah, completely skipped over. And yeah, this is what, we were kind of talking about before the series. Kaiwing is here. Gets Gory's Flash.
Gory's Flash is going to be missing. That's going to make this lane substantially better for Jimmy and now.
Yeah,
Gory going to have to be so worried about Poppy. Oh, I'm talking about worried about Poppy. Karsa is too.
Wow,
Rest is going to be here though, and I don't really think there's a way that you ever actually kill the Poppy. And
yeah, not with Phase Rush.
And meanwhile, I mean, as long as Gemini does not die here.
Wow, Rest just stays.
Yeah, just leashing. So this is going to be very detrimental for the top lane at least. And Rest still not going to be going to lane. Finally will be now.
Yeah, he's going to be behind for a good while in the top lane now. Does spot out Gemini taking the Krugs. So Karsa's going to swap sides with the Poppy. And I think this is exactly what you want if you're Gemini. And, I mean, we've seen Karsa in these weird positions, like, pretty often on the weaker early game jungler, and he navigates them very well. I think it was on Vi into Poppy, who's under a lot of pressure early game against the Poppy, that he was able to just keep up and farm. And he's going to be doing the same this game, but this game, his top laner had to make a pretty massive sacrifice for him to do it.
11 CS to 0.
And Gemini's headed mid. No flash on Talia.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't get a kill here, just this pressure is going to be miserable for the champion that wants to have constant lane prio, wants to be gaining an advantage for themselves. Karsa is in the bot side, pretty low, and the Frank members are quite healthy as things stand.
And Karsa doing red into Krugs there. If he had done red into Raptors, Gemini might have been able to cross and kill him there. So pretty smart by Kaisa to not go for the Raptors there. Oh, the red card still hits him through Counter-Strike. I guess just the AoE portion of it.
The gold card certainly hits him without the Counter-Strike, and Rest has found himself now at half HP in his choice of counter matchup. Now, of course, a lot of that was dictated by the level 1 and how much time and how much pressure Rest had to give over to ensure Karsa could start at his Raptors.
Yeah, also just knowing that Sejuani is nowhere near you, and she's not going to be anywhere near top lane for a long time, just means the Twisted Fate can play a lot more aggressively than he's usually allowed to. As it's still going to be a long time before we see Karsa able to go top. Gemini can go take Raptors now if he wants to.
Well, huge advantage top, by the way. Jiang, very, very comfortable up here.
Yeah, and Gemini, this is really good from Gemini. He's just staying here.
He is down a level.
Yeah, Karsa's here to contest, and Talia has a lot of priority. So he has to walk up to his top lane here. He has Phase Rush, so he's never in too much danger. So Karsa doing a good job of not falling behind himself here. He is going to contest these Krugs.
He gets stunned up. Take half his health and damage here.
And Rest knows he has to trade with Jiang here, because if he doesn't, Jiang can walk past the tower and contest these Krugs.
Or even coming and throwing out some Qs to try and harass that Gemini on his way out. But it's going to be the Void Grubs, ultimately, that Gemini's going to go for. And while, of course, you do want to reach 5 and 6 grubs Honestly, just any is good as long as
Yeah.
you're not trading over too much, because eventually, if you want to win a game of League of Legends, you're going to have to hit a tower.
Oh god, look at top CS.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Rest has already had to TP back to lane. Jung
Yeah.
may not even have to TP here.
I mean, he doesn't have TP, but he can ult.
Oh, he doesn't even have it, right.
He does have level 6 now, so if the wave is getting pressed, he is more than likely just going to use that Destiny to get himself back there and keep his nice lead that he's already found himself. Opting for the plated steel caps seems extremely greedy, considering the fact you're up against Jack, Sejuani, Talia.
Yeah, I think the Ghost is also very greedy compared to just taking Cleanse. If you're not going to take Teleport, which is fair enough, you don't really need it. On the Twisted Fate, you've got your ulti to get back to lane if you really need to.
I wonder if the reason why Pretender only played 3 champions is because this whole time he's been practicing AD carry, yeah. Oh, nice dodge on that threaded volley.
Yeah, Gory pretty low on mana.
Yeah, and he's even already used his teleport. Of course, Flash now back off of cooldown. Rest looking to trade aggressively, but nice by Jiang to be able to dodge out of it and trade back superbly in his own favor.
Yeah, I think Rest has achieved what he wanted to, though. He's broken this freeze, I assume, that Jiang can't just hold this wave here.
I don't think Jiang's too worried about it. I think getting damage on this tower.
Yeah, he's going to be just shoving anyway.
Especially with the early 3 Void Grubs. It's going to feel really good.
Frank are potentially going to make a very dangerous play here if they don't know where the Sejuani is. No, just fishing while Poppy was around, seeing if someone would walk into them. Sword Art not taking the bait. Pretender hits 6, and honestly, I'm not surprised to see Shun take Cleanse this game. Just against Twisted Fate, you don't really want to be relying on just Milio ult to get you out of the stuns, just because of how often he can throw them from safety as well once he gets his rapid fire cannon.
Sure. I mean, yeah, things are pretty bad in the top side. Gory, though, will have that Weaver's Wall if he chooses to try and look for something. Of course, Gemini in the waiting wings means if it were to happen, then there is a good chance that Gory's just going to be found and maybe going to give over first blood or lose his flash, which you don't really want to do. Again, you can see it in the mid lane CS, although they are not matched up because of the shenanigans.
So the only way Jax trades with TF is jumping on him. So Poppy's just standing in the lane, hoping that Jax tries to trade with Twisted Fate, and well played by Rust to just not go for a trade at all there. Gemini may be in trouble.
Gemini does have Poppy ult available to himself, and he's going to use it. Hit rest on out of there. Sword Art's on the way up.
Yeah.
Weaver's Wall is still available, of course, if Gory chooses to head towards the top side himself. Doesn't look like he will, of course, with Kaiwing as well as Jimmy and both in the mid lane. A lot of pressure is in favor of Frank.
And I think Karsa's got to be here just to make sure Rest can safely farm this wave. If he loses this wave for whatever reason, he has to recall or dies, the game might just be over through top.
I mean, we're not really looking for ganks here, but we are just having 2 junglers stand off. Rest is going to jump forward. He's going to try and find the damage required to kill Jung. He's not going to, but the flash, Grandmaster's Might, will be picking himself up a kill there on to Gemini on this Poppy. Jung, though, he's not done. He's still going forward. He's finding these auto attacks. It's not going to be enough. And it's just first blood given over to Jax. A bit of a saving grace considering his 40 CS deficit up in the top side.
Yeah, Frank down an ulti and on the Poppy, and Karsa almost just solos him anyway. Rest is able to flash onto him and finish off the kill. Importantly, Jimmy just sticking on to Gory on the Talia, stopping her from ulting up and maybe blowing Jiang's flash or even killing him there. Both bot lanes CSing reasonably well. It is a range versus melee matchup, so Lucian a little bit ahead of the Varus is reasonable. So, yeah, Gemini just goes down. Yeah, mostly to the Sejuani here, and Rest flashes in to finish him off. No real chance for Gemini to flash out or anything there. I guess that's why Rest flashed, just to make sure they get the kill. And that's going to help him out a lot. Can get the Merc Treads and the Phage now. Probably Trinity Force first.
Yeah, it does seem like it will be. 6 Void Grubs were picked up, though, for the side of Frank, and you can see it on your minimap.
Yeah.
Jiang currently hitting that tower, going to get 2 plates for himself, so pretty much making up that gold for the first blood already. 1 more plate will pretty much secure he's done so, only would be 25 gold short.
Yeah, maybe is close to an item, Jiang, so he decides to stay.
I'd be interested to see what he goes. We've seen a couple of different takes. There's been the Blade of the Ruined King, Guinsu's for some on-hit damage. There's been Kraken Slayer, Triforce even.
Yeah, we've seen Static Shiv as well.
Yeah, Static Shiv, yeah, true. Still very surprised by the choice to take the plated steel caps. Feels like you're probably losing value when compared to the Merc Treads.
Yeah, I think he was always just going to go tier 2 boots ASAP in this lane. You've seen him with the Fleet Footwork proc and the tier 2 boots just walk out of Jack's E after being queued on. So that makes a lot of sense. And maybe Zerker Greaves or Mercs just don't do enough for him in the lane. Jimmy and missing his ulti mid. Oh, maybe Gory just flashed it.
Yeah, it does seem
this
like
flashes
it.
down.
Gory will, once again be missing this flash on the Talia. Gemini has to be careful. He does have flash. Nice dodge there of that Glacial Prison. And now Gory getting awfully low. Gemini, though, he himself is not so healthy either. The Sand Soldier won't find the kill, but the flash auto attack certainly will. Teleport now coming out of Jimmy. Will he find it?
Oh.
No, he won't. But Shutdown will be going over to Casa. It was a valiant effort, but to no avail.
Yeah, really smart ult by Shun there. I don't think the bush was warded or anything. They just knew he was TPing. Karsa does have to take the kill there. Probably too risky to try leave the kill for the Lucian. That was a really nice dodge on the Sejuani ult from Jimmian with the Poppy E. Almost goes down here. Actually holds on to his flash. No, uses it at the end there. Both members of Frank using their flashes there. And yeah, just a heads-up play from Shun. Just knows Jimmian is recalling in there, or teleporting in there.
Oh, nice job by Jiang to
Pops Ghost.
hold the card, and yeah, he's not so certain Rest is going to survive, and I'm not either. Looking at this damage, Rest is going to be able to wall jump away, but not before losing the vast majority of his health.
TP is up for Rest.
Yeah, but I think with 6 Void Grubs, this very potentially can be just yet another plate coming.
Oh, Kaiwing is here.
Yeah, Gory is
Gory,
as well.
Kaiwing is going to spot him out. Going to spot Karso out too, so Jiang will be getting out of here quick.
Yeah, but Jiang manages to pick himself up. Yet another plate. Going to be feeling really good about that. I think we'll see Triforce coming through second, most probably.
This is going to be really important to see how Frank react to this map movement. CFO have swapped all 3 lanes. They've put their bot lane mid, their mid lane into what they were hoping was going to be a Jax, but Frank have actually responded really well and matched all 3 lanes. They're going to be down priority for 1 or 2 waves as they rotate. But yeah, I think this is the lane configuration they want. Though Rest actually gets to hold on to his TP because of these lane swaps. And CFO will have a man advantage if there's a fight over this Herald. I imagine if you're Frank, you're just not worried about this.
It doesn't feel like the most important objective in the world, and now Gore. Ooh. Okay, Gemini, with that steadfast presence, denies the Arctic assault of Casa on the Sejuani. And
Kaiwing is bot, but CFO's bot lane are moving down too. They get spotted on a really nice ward. Can't imagine Frank will hang around too long.
Resh not going to be able to find anything of value. Culling is used. It's going to be answered by this flash here, and we are diving. Special Prison comes out. Kaiwing's looking to try and protect this Twisted Fate, and at least for now, he's done a fantastic job of that. And somewhere over the rainbow, it's Gory getting taken out. Gemini going to claim the kill for himself, and that feels pretty good. We are still looking for this 4-man dive, though. There is no teleports available for the side of Frank, and thusly, it will be Jiang taken out. The tower will soon follow.
Yeah. Jiang kind of deciding to go down with the ship there. I think he had an opportunity to run away. I guess he didn't know where the bot lane of CFO were positioning, so he wasn't sure if he could just run straight through the tower. Oh, this is what happens to Gory. He gets eat on by the Poppy into a Verisol. No chance to flash. It's not even up his flash, so well played by Gemini to find that pick. And they're moving Rest just all over the map to make sure he can get farm right now. And that makes a lot of sense because, I mean, we were expecting this Jax to just take over the matchup against the Twisted Fate, but he's so far behind now. You have to find him ways to get farm, and eventually he will take over. Jax is pretty hard for any of these champs on the side of Frank to kill. And has a lot of kill pressure in this 1v1. Usually, but he is just so far behind this Twisted Fate.
For sure. Third dragon on the horizon.
Yeah.
Frank not going to be wanting to give over that soul point, especially for an Infernal Soul. And when they are just truly more powerful than CFO, particularly if you are able to get Jiang to this fight somehow. No teleport on Rest means at worst it's a 4v4. Although nice. Rest has walked down.
Nice arrow onto 2 by Pretender there. Chunks both members of CFO's bot lane. So these team fights are going to be really hard to navigate for Frank. It's a Rel solo engaged support that I've complained about ad nauseum, and CFO are just killing this. Nice. Nice block on the Poppy ult there by Res. Frank are going to respond by pushing mid here. I think they can put up an Azir turret too, and maybe go for a tier 2 mid. They're actually engaging onto CFO.
Weaver's Wall comes out. That's going to split up the team. Pretender, though, is not going to get hit by the seismic shove, and it will be yet another tower being taken out here. Frank, they're going to pull the trigger. They've pulled the trigger. They've found Gory. Gory going to be taken out once again. 0-3 now he is on this Talia. A nice gold card here onto Rest. As Rest almost just gets blown up immediately. Is going to have to flash away, and also costs that million ult as well. And Frank are truly running this map now. Of course, it is very dangerous. They have given over 3 dragons. And so CFO, as long as they survive and try to stem the bleeding, if they somehow can contest and pick up this dragon for themselves, it will be the 4th, it will be Soul, and a lot of power given over to their side. So
yeah, strictly in a vacuum, a dragon for 2 mid towers is always going to be, you know, way better for the team that gets 2 mid towers. But you're under a lot of pressure as Frank now, because that is the 3rd Drake for CFO, so they've got to play this squeaky clean from here on out. Otherwise, they make the game very hard for themselves against an Infernal Drake Lucian, who has gone the Energized build, so he's going to have a lot of kill pressure just from a million miles away, especially if he gets an Infernal Soul. And I want to get a replay of that fight to see what happened to Rest's HP bar. It felt like it just vanished the moment his Counter-Strike was down. CFO are maybe looking to dive Jimmy in here. He might be in trouble. Yeah,
Jimmy, and he's going to clear out the wave pretty quick, so kind of thoughts off any true potential there. Total gold, it is Jimmy and Jiang currently sitting pretty comfortably up the top. Shun closely following, but Pretender, relatively similar.
Yeah.
He does actually pick himself up that Serpent's Fang second. Of course, it's going to feel pretty decent up against Emilio, who does have a lot of shielding. Kaiwing's going to get caught out, but he is going to get that crash down for that shield and will luckily survive. That does cost Kasa as well as Shun their ultimates here on the Sejuani and Lucian respectively. And so some important cooldowns. It is going to be the Baron spawning now, and there honestly is a lot of damage of TF as well as this Azir at it, but it's not likely to be the case that that is true. So
Shun had to use his cleanse there as well on a nice Verisol from Pretender.
And so far, we're just being proven that mid lane is in fact the best role.
Yeah, best
even though Chris Carter prove to us that AD carry is the best role.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh, it's a dog-eat-dog word out there. Now, vision clearing is what is currently going on. I mean, I'm excited. I want to see what's going on between Jiang and Rest, because it feels like ever since lane phase, even during lane phase, of course, it has just been entirely the Jiang show on this Twisted Fate. And it's good to see him have another game like this on a champion that isn't Aatrox. Of course, we've seen him absolutely pop off and take over games as Aatrox, but
I don't think CFO have any idea this is happening. They're maybe heading there now.
They are heading there now, and Frank will get off it. Of course, this is time committed.
Yeah, they get spotted on vision. And nice of Frank, honestly, to just not flip the Baron right now. Just they give it a go. They do have a very quick Baron. So CFO had a pretty limited time to react to that, and they get spotted on vision, and Frank just get off the Baron. Gemini setting up for this Dragon. This is pretty much just going to decide the game. Both teams will be willing to fight over this. I mean, CFO have the option to not fight over it. If they can play some nice macro and get Rest in a side lane, Frank all have to come to this Dragon. So Rest can have an opportunity here to maybe take a tower or take a lot of waves. It looks like he is just coming mid. And
yeah, I mean...
yeah, they're going to just take the honorable 5v5.
So good to see.
Yeah, you do love to see it. I mean, it's actually Jiang who's in.
Yeah, he does have Destiny available, so while not having Summoner Teleport, he still does have an essential global teleport. Shun going to get hit by those Sand Soldiers and take a lot of damage. I mean, there's a little bit of healing from Sword Art when that Cozy Campfire is available, but it looks like it won't be at the moment.
And Jiang is trying to meet Rest on his way to the lane.
He is. I mean, this seems like the perfect opportunity to try and look for something as Frank. At the moment, they're not even turning towards the Dragon, although now, as I say it, they will be doing so. And Jiang is headed down here. Will have Destiny once again available to him if he wants to look for something in the back line or even just join his team for a front to back. We'll see what he chooses to do.
Feels like Pretender hasn't missed a Varus Q. He shoots, engage onto
stun
Jimmy.
Onto Casa. We've seen this a lot of times before. He is surviving. Magnet Storm will be coming out of Kaiwing, and this culling is just melting through Pretender as well as Kaiwing. That bottom lane of Frank exceedingly low, but it is still Jiang, Jimmy, and Gemini all up in here trying to get this Dragon down. Piercing Arrow comes through. Nice little chunk there onto Sword Art. Does again have a bit of healing with that Cozy Campfire. He's going to get into himself to receive a little bit of that. To see what Jiang locks in. Keeper's Verdict won't land, but Dragon will be taken away. So Frank, not going to be able to pull the trigger on a fight, but will be able to stop that stacking at least for the next 5 minutes and take themselves their first Dragon of the game.
Yeah, and while that was happening, Jiang had pushed that massive wave into the top tower and then just run down to bot. Rest ends up following him instead of staying to catch the wave, and CS difference pretty massive between the Jax and the Twisted Fate right now. Karsa being chunked there meant that I think Frank were always getting the Dragon. Pretender got chunked as well, but he can always just have impact on the poke Varus from a mile away. Karsa's never going to be able to contest the smite or do much at all with the Sejuani.
Sure.
So I wonder how Frank will decide to play this next 4 minutes. Will they just try pressure sides, or will they pressure the Baron?
Oh.
So Karsa finds Gemini.
Rest finds Jiang. Flash going to be used here from Jiang. There's no Ghost for him to use, as Rest is actually just chasing him down as that Grandmaster's Might available. Gold card, but it's going to be not able to go off. Rest claims himself that solo kill after a long, long while, finally able to show us the point of that red side 5th pick in this Jax. And now 4v5 for the next 30 seconds. Jiang will have Destiny available for himself as he comes up. But we'll see what happens. I believe it was just Jiang face-checking into this Tribush that did have a Jax sitting and waiting.
Yeah, maybe just not keeping track of where Rest was on the Jax. He actually gets the stun on him and still goes down.
Nice follow. Jiang still trading fairly well despite what occurred. Rest, though, does get the better end of the deal, picking himself up a kill. Kraken Slayer going to be coming through for Jiang here as his third item, and he's quickly making his way towards it.
Yeah, no flash on Jiang now means he's going to have much less pressure in the side lane as well.
Yeah, it's a lot scarier. Ghost almost back up, which does kind of allow for a bit more, but you're right. Without that flash available, can just be caught accidentally by a glacial prison or
over the wall.
Stuck by the wall. Yeah, nice seismic shove. Does force Jimmy into flash back over that Baron Pit wall and run for his life.
Yeah, so CFO getting some wins between these last two dragons.
This graphic is not quite correct.
Right, okay. Yeah, I thought we were about to see a Muramana Azir and the Void Staff Aphelios, but I think the champ portraits have been swapped on the left there, but the graphic hasn't. So, yeah, Jax is winning that fight an item down. Granted, he did start the fight on top of the Twisted Fate. But yeah, you're seeing how strong this Jax pick is into the Twisted Fate from, 50 CS down.
Okay, Shun very strong now. Picks himself up that Infinity Edge and quietly is just 1-0-1 here on the Lucian. Of course, he has that Milio to buff him up and make him do even more damage. Frank, they're really struggling for ideas in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got that side lane pressure that Jiang can provide, but after getting solo killed, losing his flash, it feels a lot harder.
Yeah, it feels like they're the ones waiting for the dragon to spawn when, to me, it feels like they should be, engage onto Sejuani. Probably wisely stepped away from there by Frank. I think they are the ones who are under pressure to do stuff between these dragon spawns, because every time a dragon spawns, there's a chance for this game to get a whole lot harder if CFO can even just random smite steal, get soul. You have a member chunked or picked off, they get soul, and the game is just extremely difficult from there. Frank on some back timings, lose all of this vision around the Baron, and it is completely dark for them. They're very worried. Shun loses his cleanse.
Yeah, nice chain of corruption, going to force that summoner away and keep his verdict. Going to send Casa well away from this team fight. They're able to pick up one kill. It's on Gory. Double teleport coming through. Jimmy, he's not going to be really wanting to be near this Jax. And Jax, rest, finds himself a 3-man Counter-Strike. Turning the odds despite the 4v5. This Jax pick is really finding so much value here.
Yeah.
Looked like it was going to be a disaster until he found that. And with that, recall is going to come through. Jimmy, and using that teleport means he's not going to be able to get back here if he were to recall. But there are two important item spikes, of course. Abyssal Mask picked up from Gemini, supporting all the magic damage that comes through, both from Jiang and Jimmy, and then, of course, Pretender even having a little bit despite being the lethality Varus. Now, Dragon going to be started up. Frank, have Pretender, have Jimmy on it as we speak, but CFO are not going to be willing to just give this one over. Hex Flash from Gemini gets him into the pit, and he does not have Keeper's Verdict. Teleport now coming through. This is, of course, going to be Gory arriving back at the fight. Smite will secure at least the Dragon. Counter-Strike lands, but it's only going to land on the Gemini. The Seismic Shove, though, does confirm a little bit more damage. But with constant piercing arrows coming through, low health bars now for the side of CFO, and with that, they're not going to be confident to pull any more triggers. Glacial Prison is going to remain up for Casa, and Frank just get the Dragon and run on out of there.
Yeah, that was super well played by Frank. They just engage onto Karsa, almost kill him, but the moment he flashes away, they immediately turn onto the Dragon, burst it down, and just kill it without Karsa being in range to smite it. They're under a lot of pressure with this soul point on CFO, but they're playing it really well so far. They are going to lose their blue buff, which is a big objective. It's a team-wide buff now. Unless Gemini can get in here for the smite steal. Doesn't have his flash, so would be risky moves to make. So Frank really have to fight for some of this Baron vision. They're under a lot of pressure, constantly worried about if CFO are on the Baron. And CFO have a very fast Baron themselves.
Both
Talia
teams.
Jax Lucian.
Both teams can take out a Baron in no time at all, really. Ooh, Seismic Shove does not hit Kaiwing over the wall, very importantly.
Yeah. Does eat a chunk, and maybe CFO can reclaim some of the Baron vision here. Doesn't look like they're all that worried about Frank hitting it.
This poke from Pretender is...
Yeah, he doesn't miss.
Yeah, not trivial at all. CFO, though, they now have control over the mid wave. They now have control over the river, and they're going to start this Baron up, although quickly going to turn around and realize, you know what? As Sejuani, Jax, this is going to take too long. They're definitely going to come. Although they turn back towards it.
They are on it, and Frank know that they're hitting it. Jimmy in his bot lane without TP. Yeah,
no TP here for Jimmy on the Azir. He is walking up. He's made his way to the mid lane now. Gemini, okay, he pops that Keeper's Verdict, but with Destiny coming through too. They get the reset. Jiang has to be so careful. Actually going to flash over that wall and actually gets the Breath of Light out as well. And so while you lose flash here onto your Twisted Fate, you actually get out the Meteor ult, which may even make your team fight just that much stronger.
Yeah, at least for the next minute or so. Oh my
god, Gory has been half HP'd by a singular piercing arrow, and now it's Rest. Might be out of position. It's going to be an immediate kill found. That's Sword Art going down, but Gory trades one back. Gemini will be taken out likewise, and Rest now trying to run away from Jimmy. On the other side, it's Kaiwing. Double kill now for Gory. Rest should be answered back here. It should be just the 2 for 2. He does enter that bush, but Pretender arriving, gets that auto attack, gets that piercing arrow, gets himself the kill onto Rest. 2 for 2, Sword Art and Rest going down in exchange for Kaiwing and Gemini for Frank. So all things remaining fairly equal.
Yeah.
Still 2 minutes now on this potential soul for CFO, but the 4K gold lead for Frank suggests that maybe they should be winning these fights.
Yeah, maybe they should be winning them harder, as Gemini finds what looks like a really good engage onto Sword Art here. Gory already half HP at the start of this fight. It felt like all Frank, especially after this engage. Bear Assault to help finish off Sword Art, I think doesn't end up bouncing to anyone. And Shun does lose his flash here. As nice play by Kaiwing here to kind of distract all 3 members of CFO. Means that Rest is pretty much a free kill on the back end, but Kaiwing goes down for it, and it ends up just being a 2 for 2.
It's a lot of Infernal Cinders that just came exploding out of Rest.
Yeah, and everyone ignores them. It's my pet peeve.
Yeah,
you may as well go
You're
pick
just walking
them up,
right next to one. Like, why don't you want ability haste? What are the charges?
Jimmy just takes a tier 2. That's 700 gold, by the way, in the bot lane for Jimmy. Probably, well, definitely going to be his Rabadon's finish now.
Yeah, even going for Void Staff instead of that Crypt Bloom, so bit of a greedy build for Jimmy, but he is an absolute threat on this Azir. 4-item Azir now, 32 minutes into this game. Of course, there is 30 seconds now on this Infernal Soul, potentially for the side of CFO. Casa and Gemini once again will meet each other in this bush and just exchange a few heated words.
Yeah. So keep track of the flashes here. Jiang, no flash. Gemini, no flash. So those are going to be prime targets for the Sejuani. As Frank are just hitting this Baron. I think this is a really good time to be hitting Baron 10 seconds before Dragon.
They're going to get it. This is getting absolutely annihilated. Caster's not going to make his way there. Baron secured, and now they even have everything available for themselves outside of TF ult if they want to contest this Infernal Soul. Of course, Twisted Fate ult, not the most important when it comes to team fighting.
Oh, Gory can wall them off, though.
Gory can wall them off. Are they going to start it? Are they going to decide to take that course of action? It does seem like the logical play. Rest in the waiting wings is going to get head away. Will Gory, he's no longer anywhere near his team. Culling comes out to try and dissuade Frank from going in. A lot of damage. Shun now, 1 HP as this Dragon is getting so low. Caster turns back around to it. They're going to secure it. That's Dragon Soul Infernal of all of them that CFO are going to pick up. Azir Soldier's doing so much work. His Rest is now stuck between all 5 members of Frank. He's going to go down. You've now got 2 members pretty much eliminated. Shun, he's looking for that recall. Is he going to find it? Yes, he will. Everyone does manage to get themselves back to this base, but it is Rest who has taken out. Baron buff still available here for Frank. So for at least the next 2 minutes, they will be firmly able to take control of this map. But a lot of damage now, Infernal Soul over to CFO.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard for Frank to play after this period of the game. They've got a 4v5 right now with Baron up. So they have to get as much done as they can in these Varus arrows.
This Pretender's Varus just does more damage than everyone else's. Except Shun's, but he goes on hit.
Yeah, very quiet early game from him too.
Oh, he doesn't land those. Okay. Goes Baron.
So Rest is up very soon.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Jimmy kills that tower in 3 autos. They decide to not go for the inhib. I think, oh wow. That is half HP on Shun just gone off of a Varus Q. Yeah, say what you want about mid laners, they do land their skill shots.
They do. They do.
And 700 gold shutdown on Pretender, pretty good showing in the AD role. And I mean, I was wondering how Frank were gonna respond to, in the last couple series, we saw them. They had, anytime they put Jimmy in, Azir got banned. Anytime they put Pretender in, Orianna got banned, Nico got banned. So it kind of ended up making them easy to draft against. So just put them both in.
Yeah.
They're bound to get Azir or Orianna. As engage onto Karsa here, he might be in trouble.
Just going to use, he does have to flash and use that Arctic Assault. Shun will wisely dodge away from that wall, and so the flash wallbang will not be found. Jimmy, and he's in the back line. Does he want to be there? It looks like he does, as Karsa's getting annihilated by this Azir, but it's a seismic shove. It's going to be the answer. Jimmy does go gold, and he's surviving. He's on 1 HP. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Young going to be able to take out Karsa, and Kaiwing going to be taken out now. Weaver's wall coming through. Gory, they're looking for Jimmy in. Escort Jimmy out. This Azir is everything for your team of Frank. Baron is going to be taken out. There is no more Baron. And so now you've only lost a couple of towers and you have the Infernal Soul. It's now CFO's time to see what they can make happen.
Yeah, so a lot of members of Frank starting this fight at half HP. Flash from Jiyoung to stun up Rest. He does manage to get away. Jimmy getting hit by the shove there. Kaiwing heroics to just go in, zone off every member of CFO and save Jimmy in there. Could have been a disaster if Jimmy goes down there.
Yeah. Hey, there's Infernal Cinders right there.
Yeah. Get them. Wait, who was neglecting them? We need to make a list.
That was Rest.
Rest.
We'll
so,
make...
Jimmy doesn't have his Zhonya's for now.
Yeah.
Next big objective is gonna be the Elder Dragon.
Jimmy almost up 100 CS, by the way. Not that it's that important at this stage, but he is essentially an entire item up.
Yep.
Of course, this is a real threat. Glacial Prison comes through, does land on the tank, but a two-man seismic shove means that Jiang might just be going down. He lives some way, somehow. Despite a fantastic engage and a fantastic seismic shove, we are going to see Jiang narrowly escape alongside Gemini.
Yeah, and so many close calls for Frank where if people go down in these situations, their comp probably can't survive with how many squishies they have. They're just getting dove or losing their inhibs. So 2 minutes now on the Elder. We're going to see if, big thing is going to be if Jimmy can finish this Zhonya's, that's going to be a massive deal. Pretender going for probably Opportunity as his last item. So his poke is going to be ridiculous at that point. And Jiang is not going to have his flash. We can't see the timer on Gemini's flash. I can't remember when he used it. Shun probably isn't going to have his flash either. Gory's will be up, Karsa's will be down. So pretty even in terms of flashes.
Oh, Gemini used it when they pushed mid. He tried to look for a flash down on Shun, I remember now.
Okay.
Wallbang, he does have phase rush. We'll be able to proc that one. But will he get away? He won't be able to. Shun just follows him. Nice culling. A lot of damage. And then just the last 2 auto attacks from that passive secures the kill. Now 20 seconds on Baron. Gemini will be spawning in time for Alder, but that's not the problem. As Pretender tries to look for some poke onto Karsa, but really...
Yeah, with Sejuani passive, Sejuani is not his target for this poke. Does take off the Sejuani passive, but it's going to be a stretch for Frank to defend this Baron now without their Poppy. I feel like a lot of their success in these fights has been off the back of Poppy ultimates.
Teleport coming through. Likely for them to just start up on this Baron, and it is Karsa aggroing. Another teleport will be coming through here. Gory going to also want to join the fray. Destiny used. They are going to be wise to everyone's location.
TP mid.
But he is not looking to join the fight. He's looking to end the game. Are we going to be able to stop any recalls here? It doesn't look like it, but in the meanwhile, we do get that mid lane inhib, and now the fast track, of course, with all this mid lane pressure towards this Outer Dragon. There are no teleports. Gory and Rest both just use them, and everyone for Frank
is here at this Elder Dragon. We don't have Keeper's Verdict. That's important because there is no way for Gemini just yet to hit away Karsa. Elder Dragon goes down. Gory, you are now... No, Gory gets the Dragon! Some way, somehow, the smite is not going to be found. Baron and Elder picked up from CFO as Gory heroically takes the Elder Dragon 1v5.
Yeah, I saw the smite take the dragon down to about 300 HP there. Gory manages to snipe it with a Q, and in spite of it being a 4v5, CFO with all the pressure down mid now, Baron and Elder for themselves, Gory is going to be up and they're going to have about a minute to make use of these double buffs. Definitely going to be top tier 1. I'm surprised that's still alive for Frank. And it looked like that Baron was going to be a godsend for Frank from CFO. I think that was a pretty massive misplay on the side of CFO, committing as many members as they did to the Baron, or maybe even doing the Baron in the first place. I was worried that Frank were not going to be able to have any vision around this Elder Dragon as it comes up, because their Poppy was dead and was spawning 10 seconds before Elder comes up. So CFO could have taken complete control of mid, complete control of the Elder, and we're going to see this steal. What a tragedy, as this was such a nice sequence from Frank. They played the macro so well, but just the execution at the end here, everyone stops hitting. Everyone stops hitting the Baron, and two members actually get walled away from the Dragon. So a smite that's usually good for the kill there. And I mean, you cannot believe it if you're CFO.
Jimmy is going to be able to get that shuffle off, but he's going to be taken out anyway.
Loses his flash as well, and 1K goes over to rest. More importantly, it's a 4v5 with Elder and Baron for CFO now.
Yeah, both buffs do run out in 40 seconds. Are Frank going to be able to hold on to these Nexus turrets? It does feel like both these inhibs should be taken out. They have a little bit of wave clear in Pretender, and Pretender, importantly, is going to land a massive bit of poke here onto Shun and onto Sword Art. 30 more seconds, but it's going to be a 3v5 now as Kaiwing, he's the only tank remaining. Pretender, Jiang, you're not able to do anything as one disastrous Elder leads to an immediate end. CFO, they're going to take game number 1 in heroic fashion.
Wow. Yeah, once the Azir goes down there, he's so much of this comp's damage